What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Jiu-Jitsu Radio. And after all these mic issues, we're finally back and running in the studio. Right, meow. And listen, I just want to go ahead and say thank you to everyone for supporting the podcast, all the support you guys have been showing us. And if you want to support the podcast even further, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the notification bell. If you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify, Google Play, wherever you're listening to us. You can go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the share button. That is going to be one of the best ways to support us. But you want to know what the real best way is?
Pay us.
Pay us. Money. Cash in hand. Or you could buy a shirt. If you head over to our Instagram at Jiu-Jitsu Radio, you'll get a link. Send you straight to the store where you can buy one of the shirts that we designed, like the Hustle shirt, the Hustle by Tom Designs.
Hustle by Tom.
That shirt's actually doing pretty well. You can also get one of the ranked roll shirts that we designed, and you can get the Shut the Fuck Up and Roll shirt. One of my favorites. I always get asked about that every time I walk around with it. So you can get your own. Just go ahead at Jiu-Jitsu Radio on Instagram, and you'll get the direct link. Also, you can follow Shawn at Gorilla Boy BJJ.
If you feel like it.
If you feel like it, if you find it yourself to be so generous, go ahead and look him up, hit him on the DMs. You can also follow me at Sonder Marketing, and if you haven't, you've been missing out on some cool behind the scenes on my latest photo shoots. Talk about that more into the podcast. But another way you can support the podcast is by checking out our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by chokealoha.com. Check out Choke Aloha. Use the promo code Jiu-Jitsu Radio, and you'll get 20% off your entire order. Whether it's the new ranked rash guards, patches, keychains, whatever they got on that website, whether it's new or almost old, you can go ahead, get it at discount. Yeah, because it's never
New or almost.
well, it's never on the website long enough to be considered old. It always sells out.
Yeah, I know.
So go ahead, get yours today. Chokealoha.com, promo code Jiu-Jitsu Radio. Tell them we sent you. Then check out Jiu-Jitsu Soap Co. Go to jujitsusoapco.com, use the promo code JJ Radio, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. No questions asked. Entire order. You can get 100 bars of soap. Use the promo code. You're still going to get a discount. You're welcome. And listen, I keep telling you guys, it's worth every penny. It's hands down the best soap you're ever going to use. I use it on the daily. Don't let Shawn lie to you and say that you don't need soap. You need soap. Go ahead and get it. And you can also get yourself some heel hooker balm. You can get yourself some bath bombs. You can get yourself a shirt, a hat.
I like the shorts.
Which ones?
The Nogi shorts, the Rockets.
Come on.
What?
Come on, guy.
What?
You know those are cool.
Yeah.
And you can get those at discount.
They are fire.
All you got to
the
do
kids say.
No, they're lit. The key word is lit. Fire is like 2010. But you can get yours at 10% off with the promo code JJ Radio at jujitsusoapco.com. I'm telling you, pick up a bar of soap, and if you like it, order as much as you can because they do run out rather quickly. Then check out our homies over at Giraffe Choke. Go to giraffechoke.com, use the promo code JJ Radio, and you will save 25% off entire orders of $99 or more. Listen, Giraffe Choke is started by a friend of mine. It's just a labor of love. They got some awesome designs. I always love rocking my Superman Punch hat. It's one of my favorite ones. You can get a Superman Punch shirt. You can get a heel hook shirt or a heel hook hat. Love them. You can also get like a bunch of stuff. They have accessories like phone cases, pop sockets, you name it. They got it. Get yours at giraffechoke.com. And listen, when you're sparring, or if you're a little bit older and you're sagging a little bit low below the belt, you're going to need to cover those nuts, all right? Put those nuts in a can. You got to protect the twigs and berries, your kibbles and bits. Check out diamondmma.com. Go to diamondmma.com and use the promo code Jiu-Jitsu Radio, and you will get 10% off your order, the entire order. If you need to get 2 or 3 cups, you got to have one in the car, one in your bag.
One for your face.
One for your face. One for for the punk show that you're going to go to this weekend, go ahead, pick it up. Promo code Jiu-Jitsu Radio, DiamondMMA.com, protect the sack. What's another euphemism or whatever we can use?
I don't know, but I do know it's the official, unofficial cup
Of UFC.
of the UFC.
Listen, if getting punched in the face is your thing and you're dodging the shots below the belt, Diamond MMA is the way to go. Tell them we sent you. Go ahead and use the promo code. You're welcome. Now, we got a lot to cover. We got some shit to talk and some things to catch up on. Let's get this party started.
You kidding me, Bob?
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff.
Get stealing, woo, wheeling, dealing, limousine right, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
And we're live.
Holy.
Cheers, buddy. Oh, man. That is echoing in these headphones. Cheers. Salute. Oh, you know what I forgot, like always? Guess what I forgot?
To hit record?
Well, no, just on the video. We're still good. Now we're recording. Cheers.
Everybody wants to see me.
See you.
See me. See my lovely face.
See you. See me.
Say you. Say me.
Fucking classic. Stay here for always.
Say it forever.
I'm surprised no one's ever made the joke that Lionel Richie looks like
Lando Calrissian.
Lando. Mr. Colt 45.
Billy D. Billy D. Billy D.
Billy D is a bad motherfucker. He was a bad motherfucker.
Cover of Jet magazine.
Right? Man. Right? But don't, like, couldn't you say that they could be related?
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Back in the day,
Maybe
so
back in
much,
the
not
day
so
a little
much.
bit, but
I don't know if Billy D really aged well.
I'll tell you what, man, is with the new movie coming out in a couple months.
The Coming to America too?
No, not that movie. The new Star Wars movie.
Well, I mean, they are making Come to America
They are making
too.
Coming to America too. And if you listen to Evander Holyfield on Rogan, you would see that they filmed some of that at Evander Holyfield's old house, which is now Killer Mike's current house.
Wait, are you talking about still Star Wars or
No.
Coming to America
Coming to
too?
America too. No, this new Star Wars. They're showing Lando, but like in the beginning, like they're like the beginning of the not the final trailer, but the trailer they've been showing before that.
Right.
They showed like they go like through the years, and like they show little bits and pieces of
Nip.
of the like of every movie.
Right.
And always every time I get nostalgic whenever they play the first three, because I can remember how excited I was as a kid and like having the toys, and I had like my.
Did you see it when it first came out in the movies?
Yes.
Fuck, you're old.
77. I was 4 years old, and my mom's boyfriend brought me and her, and then afterwards he bought me this big comic book.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I wish I still had.
It's funny because when I was growing up, I wasn't that big into it. But then when I finally got into it, I was like, man, how old was I? I had to be like 10, 8 or 10, something like that. I was like 8 when I really, really got into it. Then I became obsessed. I would read everything that I could. And then remember when they did that first reissue where they came out, they added like the extra scenes and the CGI, and it came out to the movie theaters. I remember always being the only one fucking there at the movies when it was coming out. That's when I know, like, remember when
What do you mean the only one?
I was the only one in the movie theaters for everyone when those first aired. I would be the only one in the movie theater. When there was where the Pollo Tropical is on Gateway and Congress, next to LA Fitness.
Yeah.
Okay, that whole thing used to be a movie theater. It used to be.
Yeah, I remember. The
right.
LA Fitness was the movie theater.
Right, so it used to be a movie theater. And I would go there all the time. And when those 3 movies came out, it was like one every week or one every month, right? I was always there, and it was always just me. I watched Star Wars with the entire theater empty. It was the best.
What time of the day did you go?
I had to be like in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah,
on like a
because
weekend.
Whenever I went,
Yeah.
they were packed.
No, but see, that movie theater would get packed at night, but like in the middle of the afternoon on like a Saturday, Sunday, because that's the only time I get to do anything. That was the only thing that my parents would ever let me do by myself, because I was never allowed to go hang out at people's houses or anything like that. I was the only person there.
Yeah, I was a Star Wars freak from Jump Street. So as soon as I was 4, from then on, I was a Star Wars freak.
You know what, though? Like, in my defense, when I first saw it, I saw it in Italian. So I didn't see the...
Does it lose anything?
Yeah, no. Most of the time, when you watch a movie in a different language, you definitely lose a lot of it. You're never going to see... You've never heard anyone say, oh, you know what, man? The German dub is definitely way better. No, you're never going to hear that. It's the original language is always going to be the best. Listen, when you watch Star Wars in Italian, you're going to be like, okay. Because obviously the lips don't match, and the way that the slang and some of the things that work like aren't going to be the same. It's not the same kind of quality acting.
Calling somebody a fluffy nerf herder.
Nerf herder? Yeah, you scruffy-headed nerf herder.
Scruffy-headed nerf herder.
So imagine watching like Back to the Future in Italian. Or watching like Aliens had more of an impact on me than Star Wars did, but that's because it's an action movie.
Right.
And it's a scary movie. So a lot of it has to do with the intensity and not so much with the dialogue, you know?
Yeah.
So it definitely...
I can remember... So, like, I remember with Star Wars, the cups coming out at Burger King.
Yeah, remember the big Darth Vader black cup?
Well, no. These were, like, glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, there was, like, 4 for each. Every movie, 4 of them came out. And I found 2 of them. I bought them a couple years ago in a... where was it? It was like a thrift store kind of a place down at
Goodwill.
The festival mall or whatever it is.
Oh, the mall of the one in Delray.
No. It's on the way. Like if we're going to compete in Coral Springs, it's right there
off of 75.
Sample.
Yeah. I know. Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's right next to the Turnpike exit.
Yeah, they have like a little antique store in there, and I found them. I was like, I'm buying them. They were like $17 each. I'm like,
shut up. That's pretty expensive for a cup, but I mean,
you can't put a price on nostalgia.
Yeah, sure you can. $17 a cup.
And I probably would have paid $25 a cup.
No, I probably would have done it too back in the day. Now, obviously, I bought these. I was actually gonna buy when I went to Disney, and they had the regular Rebel one. But it wasn't as good of a quality as this. Can you imagine that? At Disney, they didn't have as good of a quality as the ones that I got at fucking Best Buy. I was about to buy it, and then I realized how shitty it was. But they do have the uniform, the X-Wing pilot, uniforms. I was like, damn, I want to get one so bad.
Who did you see yourself as?
In the movie, I was definitely more of a Han Solo guy.
I was more of a Luke.
I think everybody wanted to be Luke. I was definitely more Han Solo.
But whenever we played Star Wars on the playground, I wasn't Luke.
Darth Vader.
Wasn't Darth Vader.
Jabba the Hutt. For sure you're a Jabba the Hutt.
No, Jabba the Hutt.
Were you Leia?
No.
Were you like slave outfit Princess Leia?
Nope.
Where were you?
I was the tallest kid.
So Chewie?
I was Chewie.
What's wrong with being Chewie?
Nothing.
I think a lot of people would kill to be Chewie. Like, I can't do it.
I can't do a Chewie noise unless I yawn.
Yeah.
But I was always Chewie, but I always identified with Luke until Luke got dark.
Yeah,
Return
Luke got
of the Jedi.
dark. Yeah, he definitely got dark. And there was like, you know what happened with Mark Hamill? Why his career never really went past Star Wars?
I don't know. He had a pretty good career.
No. He didn't have an acting career like where you saw his face after Star Wars, really. Because he got into a really bad car accident. He actually got into a car accident. I want to say it was between
Empire and Jedi.
It was between Empire and Jedi, and he got a huge scar on his face.
Yeah.
So the one that you see in the movie, that's like basically like that was like a whole big thing. So if you look at it, there's like a bunch of articles where it was just kind of like.
But one of the most prolific voice actors.
Oh, for sure. He had the best Joker voice of all time.
The best Joker voice of all time.
I think anybody who's anybody that does the Joker wants to somehow capture his laugh and his style of delivery as far as the Joker.
And he also, and what's funny is he also played that same Joker voice when he played Cockknocker
Yeah. Yeah.
in Jay and
the
Silent Bob
Strike Back.
Strike Back.
He actually did it. He did the voice. I think his last performance as the Joker was in the Mortal Kombat game. It was either the Killing Joke or a Mortal Kombat game. It was one of those two. I was watching this whole thing the other day, but yeah. So if you watch the cutscenes, like you just look up on YouTube Mortal Kombat Joker cutscenes, you hear his voice, and it's fucking dark. It's not like how he did it on the animated series. It's fucking dark.
There was a scene that I still think about from this day that makes me laugh, and it was like Batman was chasing, because that animated series was incredible.
It was awesome.
It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Like I used to watch it all the time as I was like 18,
Yeah.
17, 18 when that came out. I watched it my first year in college. Like it used to come on at like 4 and I would always watch it. And but there was a scene where Batman was chasing him and around this like old like carnival, and there's a scene of the Joker like standing, like he's riding on a toy train. And he's got his hands behind his back, and he's just chilling. It's one of the funniest things. I don't know why it always makes me laugh.
You know what the best episode in that series was?
Mask of the Phantasm.
That was a good episode. That was like towards the end.
That was a movie, but
Yeah. But no, they did an episode. I forget who. I think it was when he was fighting the Riddler, and he got into the maze, and there was like the one like giant flying hand that would come in and like scoop him out, like if he didn't like answer a question right.
Oh, I don't
It was a
remember.
great episode, man. It was so good. I gotta find it. I'll send it to you. But it was so good.
Well, and watching, since we're on the subject, after watching Joker,
It's good.
I think the way DC can beat Marvel is if they just go gritty,
like dirty, like
dirty,
realistic.
gritty, realistic.
Yeah.
That's how you can compete with the MCU.
What'd you think about Robert De Niro?
Well, it's De Niro's De Niro, and it's like if you've ever seen The King of Comedy, it makes sense. It's funny. It's
Right.
it's like a
Well, you know, Scorsese like started off on that. He was the initial producer for Joker.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was the initial producer. So you can tell that it's very Scorsese-esque, and then he kind of just took that style. But a comedian produced that movie, directed that
not
movie.
a comedian, but a comedic
Writer.
and director.
So I mean, and they
No. Well, and here's the thing: it makes
forget his
sense.
name. No, it's a great movie.
Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips, yeah.
But it makes sense that a comedian can make something like that because
He can dig into the darker side of comedy.
every comedian has got a dark side to it.
Yeah.
Because most people get into comedy or start being funny to hide something painful.
Yeah.
Which I've always tried. That's always been
think
my
it's
first
that,
line
yeah.
of defense is comedy.
That's like, I mean, whenever something's awkward, we both do it. When something's like super awkward or just, what's
Too
the word I'm
emotional.
too emotional, or just something that's like really like just fucked up, and then we'll be the first ones to crack a joke like, oh, shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you
that thing you posted today?
How fucked up was that?
Yeah,
So
did you hear did you read what I wrote?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. But so, just because obviously you guys haven't seen like my Facebook post, so I found this article of this French woman who went to the Polynesian islands for, what was it, a honeymoon or something? It was like a getaway.
It didn't say. It just said.
So she went there anyway, and she was on a whale watching trip, and they are allowed to swim in the waters while they're whale watching. Bad fucking idea off the bat.
I don't think so.
For sure.
No.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to do it, but the whole thing is there's been a lot of shark attacks, an increase in shark attacks around those islands. She got attacked by sharks. They bit off both of her hands from like mid forearm, so she lost both of her hands, and they took a chunk out of her chest. So the only reason she's alive is that she was lucky that two of the people that were on the same trip were nurses. So she obviously just went into shock and whatever. But can you imagine you went on vacation, you lost both of your fucking hands and a titty?
Yeah, it's a jacked up. It's And after having Alex on the podcast, it's like, you know, if you don't know, she probably saw it coming and went.
She
like,
went. Well, she probably put her hands out.
Push like this.
Yeah.
And then
should have listened to the podcast.
Yeah, that'll listen to Jiu-Jitsu Radio. It'll save your life.
It literally could have saved your life. But fuck, man, like, can you imagine just? And they didn't even say what kind of shark it was.
It was a white. You know, they did. It was a white tip.
A white tip. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the black tips are usually pretty skeeved out by people. They're squeamish. They like take off pretty quick.
Well, most sharks are. It's like
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, they are. Most sharks don't want to mess with any human. We're not food to them.
Well, these guys did not think that way. So she lost. Man, can you imagine fucking losing both of your arms?
Well, imagine. Here's the weird part. Here's what you got to think of. Imagine thinking that your body parts are becoming poop.
Yeah, that's pretty weird, right?
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's happening.
It's very Hannibal Lecter-ish.
Yeah, it's like her hands are going through the shark's and her boobie, are going through the shark's digestive tract, and will come out the shark's butt.
Don't they take a while to digest too?
Oh, I have no idea.
You gotta ask Alex that. Like, man, that'd be so fucked up. Like, how do you fly home? What are the logistics of getting back home after something like that?
You get on the plane and
how
walk.
Do you? I mean, you're not gonna heal up.
Bite off her feet.
You're not, yeah, right. You're not gonna heal up in time to.
Oh no, she's gonna be stuck there for a while.
Yeah, so you lose automatically that flight. You're not making any money, so there go all your savings if you had any. A lot of people go on vacation and that's like that, just that little bit of budget, man.
And what is she gonna do? Like, what if she worked with her hands? I'm sure she did something with her hands.
Everybody works with their hands unless she does something kinky. But man, you want to hear a funny story? So like thinking about fucking up on vacation. So when we lived in Italy, we would go for like 2 weeks because we didn't live close to the ocean or to the Mediterranean rather. So we would leave for like a week, 2 weeks, and we'd go camping by the sea or whatever, by the Mediterranean. And I remember like we're in the campground or whatever, like I'm playing tag with some kids there and my sister, and my dad like joins in, so we start playing tag. So he starts chasing after me and I started running, and for whatever reason I stopped and I had my foot just like stretched out behind me. He ran into me, smashed his foot into mine, broke his foot. So we had to go to the hospital. I remember sitting in the hospital. My dad came out with like a big cast on his foot. I was like, well, there goes the fucking vacation. Man, I still remember to this day. I haven't brought that up in forever. I just remember that. Like, you know, you get those flashes of like
some jacked up thing. A lot of people. Well, think about it. If you go on vacation, you tend to be doing riskier things.
You're doing things out of the norm.
Out of the norm, but like
you never gotten injured on vacation?
No.
Ever?
No.
Never.
No.
Really?
No, not a.
You take boring fucking vacation.
And I've done stuff like, you know, I've gone kayaking. I've gone hiking in the rainforest. I've done a lot of stuff. It's just.
What's the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
Besides skydiving and bungee jumping?
Like something maybe that afterwards you didn't realize how dangerous it was.
I don't know, because there's like, well, the one story that I've told you, I tell everybody about the roller coaster in New Jersey, where it was the hanging roller coaster.
The hanging roller coaster?
Oh
yeah. Where like you were holding
out
on.
The bottom.
Yeah.
That's the closest I come to death, and the closest.
I told you I got stuck on two of the rides at Disney in California, right? Oh, we didn't talk that much about ADCC. No. So like, I went to Disney by myself in California. So it was like Friday. I didn't have shit to do.
It's a lot smaller than Disney World.
It's a lot smaller. Like I went. So there's two parks. There's Disneyland and then there's Adventure Park. So I went to Adventure Park, and Adventure Park is pretty much just like. It's like a fair on steroids, and they take like bits and pieces of other parks here in Orlando, and they kind of put it on there. So they have a little miniature Hollywood Studios and a couple other stuff. So I got in at 8 o'clock in the morning, and because I was by myself, I went through 90%, I would say 85 to 90% of the rides, and I was done by 1 o'clock. So if you really want to go and enjoy Disney, single rider is the fucking way to do it. I went on the Cars ride.
Lonely Rider.
Oh, man. I went on the Cars ride, and it was a 70-minute wait. I walked in from the gate when I walked in to when I got onto the car, maybe 30 seconds. Minute tops. I just walked straight on. They're like, single rider, go. So I went on it once, did it, had a fucking blast. Great fucking ride. So then, like, went, had lunch, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that again. I get on the ride. This time it took a little bit longer. It's like 90-minute wait. Get on, and it's me and a family of 4 and this other random single rider dude. And this family had these 2 kids, and the kid in the back, super screaming, super scared. He didn't want to go in there, whatever. So I'm just kind of cracking jokes with them. Kid next to me having a fucking blast. He was all about it. So, like, I told him, I was like, oh, I've gotten unstuck on rides before all the time. Just joking. Next thing you know, so you go through this whole thing. It tells the story. And before the ride really gets going, the fast part, all of a sudden it goes, just jams. So there's a section where you either go left or right. So it just alternates, for whatever. Because you're supposed to race another car. It just jams. So I'm sitting there joking around like, oh, we should get going soon, whatever. And all of a sudden, they flip the lights on. And they come out. And 2 of the Disney attendants come out. They're like, so we're going to actually have to get you to get out of the car. I'm like, no fucking way. I've wanted this my whole life. I've wanted to get stuck on a Disney ride. So they get us out of the car. The only car that gets taken out was ours. So we have to walk through the entire ride. I'm filming this whole fucking thing. I'm filming everything.
They didn't say anything to you?
No. So, like, they didn't see me because I was in the back. Everybody was going. So they were just guiding us through. I'm just filming. As soon as we get out back to the main part where everybody gets on the ride, this lady starts yelling at me, sir, please get off the phone. Turn off your camera now. I'm like, too late, bitch. I already filmed everything. I already got it all. So I was like, sorry. So, mind you, this whole 90-minute line of people, they're waiting too because the whole ride is stopped. So the first thing I do, I'm like, sorry, guys, it's my fault. I yelled. I was like, so sorry, guys, it's my fault. Sorry. I have never been looked at so dirty by so many people because it wasn't really my fault. But I took the hit. I felt so good just to watch people be so pissed. But they put us back on a ride, and it's fucking done. And from there, went straight to ADCC.
The closest I came, well, I never got stuck, but I almost got kicked out for riding. So me and my boys, I was 13. We went up to Disney with my handbell choir.
Oh boy,
you
would be someone that did handbell choir.
I played handbells, and we were sitting on the back.
You were probably the D flat, right?
No, I can't remember what I played. I started at the big ones, and then I worked my way down to the littler ones. But we were sitting on the back of the boat, like out of the seat. And
what boat?
The Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, right. Caribbean.
Okay. Tomato.
Continue.
We're sitting on the back of it, and we're having a blast.
Yeah.
And we're singing like we're singing
sea
the yo ho yo, like it was a great time. And while we're sitting, I was in the middle, they were on either side, and all of a sudden I saw a flashlight, and I got down into the boat, and my buddy Ed was sitting up top there, and Ed goes, and it's sitting like he's singing and he's dancing, and all of a sudden the lights hit him, and he's like a deer in the sit down now. And so then he sat down, and then we when we get to the end of the ride, they pull us off to the side and say, we know we can kick you out for what you're doing. You guys want to if you guys want to leave, or do you guys want to stay? I'm like, we're good,
Yeah.
But that was the closest.
I almost lost my finger on that ride. I literally almost lost like my fingers on that ride.
How?
So when you first get on the boat, I had to be like 12, 14. My whole family, we get, they put you in on the boat, and there's rails on the outside of the boat in the water. So like they tell you, don't put your hands in the fucking water. So I put my hand in the water, just splashing around between the boat and the rail. And as I'm sitting there, like a guy is yelling at me. He's like, "Get your hand out of the water! Get your hand out of the water!" And my mom yanks me. She's like, "Don't you hear him?" As she pulls me, my hand comes out of the water. The fucking thing clamps onto the boat. So that, like, yeah, the thing just goes, the goof. I'm like, like, it literally just went, snap.
It's one of my favorite rides.
It's a great ride. The one in California is actually pretty fun, too. It's totally different.
Well, they added Johnny Depp to this, to
I think they have it. I can't remember. No, they have it in that one, too, but it's totally different on the setup. So a couple of things are the same, but they don't have, like, the drop.
They don't have the drop?
No, they have a couple of different things, and it's the way you get onto the ride. So like the one here, trying to remember, it's like, you know, you go into like an old Spanish kind of thing. In that one, you're walking into like a Victorian house, and in the line, the boats are literally like this far away. Their arms reach away. It's the craziest setup. You can tell it's an old park.
Right.
The Haunted Mansion is really cool because you're going into an old Victorian house. They're literally right next to each other. But it's like an old house. Not like the one that here we have to walk all the way through. No, it looks like an old fucking house.
Yeah, it's because they were like, well, we're going to set the sucker off right.
Yeah. No, this one over here.
Where they built Disneyland, or Disney World.
Yeah, and you know, like Epcot was supposed to be a whole city.
Yeah, that was supposed to be
a legitimate city.
That was supposed to be what Tomorrowland, or not Tomorrow.
The city of the future.
Celebrity.
Yeah. Celebration.
Celebration.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be Epcot.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be an actual livable city.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. So, no, man, ADCC was fucking dope. Yeah, we never really talked about it, but ADCC was dope. Like, the first night, Friday night, was when they just did, like, the introductions of everybody. They did a pretty cool presentation. There wasn't that many people there. I was really surprised. Not that many people were there for it.
Well, think about it. Like, people that normally go to that or go to like the Worlds or the Pan Ams are people who are competing and their family members. You know what I'm saying?
But it wasn't the case for this one. This one was like...
Well, that's because not a lot of people get to compete in it.
Most people were from just California, where they're all like in the area. I think other than the competitors, like you're saying, Brandon from Orlando, and his buddy, not that many people came from outside of California to watch it, to be quite honest. I was kind of surprised because I'm like, man, how often do you get to see this? Otherwise, they're doing it in all these other crazy parts of the world. But so they did that one. I didn't go to the rules meeting. To be honest, I completely spaced out and forgot about that. And then Saturday and Sunday, I spent the entire day sitting down. I snuck down the first day. I was in the nosebleeds. My ticket was the nosebleeds, but I snuck down to the middle tier because I didn't really want to push it. So I spent the whole day like this, covering my wrist. They came and checked it. They didn't say anything. The second day, I got caught early. Someone narked on me. For sure someone narked on me. Because it was like, I was sitting next to a bunch of dudes from like 10th Planet Saturday. So like the second day, I was thinking, I'll just sit next to these same people. We're all sitting in the same section. And for sure, one of them said, hey, that guy's not supposed to sit there. Because she came beeline straight for me. Wasn't even there. Like, because I scope everything out. She came straight for me. You can't be here. I'm like, the fuck, really? And I look at the guy smirking like, motherfucker. Like, come on, I'm minding my own fucking business. But turns out, in my section, where I ended up sitting on the third story, it's the best. I could see everything. You could see everything. So there was really no bad seat in the house.
Right.
It was an awesome venue. They definitely picked the right venue. It was an awesome venue. It wasn't the main convention center. It's like an arena off to the side.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be that big. I mean,
no.
What they have? They had 4 mats the whole time.
Three.
3
mats going non-stop. The only time that it wasn't full 3 mats was the super fight and a couple of the finals.
Did you sit next to anybody
famous? No, it turned out like Al from Want vs. Need was sitting like a little bit far behind me. I didn't get to talk to him. I told you I ended up actually the first night I ended up becoming friends with Lachlan Giles' coach.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So super cool dude. He said he's going to be on the podcast. I got to hit him up. He wants to be on the podcast to talk about a little bit of jiu-jitsu, but something totally different that you're actually going to dig. But no, nobody really like famous or I was like, oh my gosh, like there was like, because half the people I already knew. Like I already knew Gordon, like I knew Cyborg, I knew Wagner, I knew JT. They're all like, I said what's up to everybody. Said what's up to Orlando. Talked to Tim Spriggs for a little bit. Edwin Najmi. But most of the other guys, like the bigger guys, like I kind of already knew in one form or another, So it wasn't anything big for me. And the biggest thing was there was a lot of Atos guys who were just wouldn't shut the fuck up. Like that was the one thing is like, so one thing that happened was the beginning of the super fight with Galvao. Like a couple of people were saying stuff and it was super quiet. It was dead quiet. And then I hear one guy was like, don't eat all the acai. And then like one Atos guy behind me was like, how about you shut the fuck up, idiot? Meanwhile, everybody's like laughing. He's trying to sit there and be like, this is how dumb. And I hope he fucking hears this. He's a fucking idiot. This guy, anytime that someone related to Atos was competing, all he kept on yelling, heavy hands, light feet. Heavy hands, light feet. Like, bro, first of all.
Heavy hands?
Yeah. I'm like, first of all, that's the worst fucking advice. It means absolutely fucking nothing. Second of all, shut the fuck up. He's got a coach down there. You're fucking nobody. Like, I don't care who you are. If you're not down there right now, you're fucking nobody. So just stop. Like, if I was yelling.
Was it boxing?
If I was yelling at you in a jiu-jitsu tournament, Shawn, heavy hands, light feet, would you not look at me
I
like...
would look at you like, what?
What the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Unless it's an inside joke where I'm fucking with you or something, it would make no sense. It's like heavy hands. Were you going to smack them? No. You're not going to be doing that. Heavy hands, light feet. Heavy hands, light feet. That's all he kept yelling. I'm like, please shut the fuck up. Like, come on, man. But then, like, once he won, all the Atos people, like, rushed the floor and stuff. It was cool. The funny part was, so on the first floor, I saw, what's his face? Henry Cejudo and not Vinny Magalesh. I think he was there.
Dylan Dennis?
No, not Dylan. No, Dylan wasn't there. Dylan was nowhere to be found there. What is Fabricio? Fabricio Verdun was down there, and he's like sitting there like starting people chanting and just fucking around, making people laugh. By the way, only one person requested a photo with Henry Cejudo. Nobody gave a fuck who he was. He just kept walking by and no one gave a shit.
Which is a shame. Dude's double champ.
Yeah, whatever. He, at that weight size, like, nobody gives a shit. No, so Fabricio was trying to get everybody to start doing the wave. He just starts like, yeah, and nobody was doing it. Like, nobody wanted to do it. Braulio Estima is like, fuck this. He gets up, grabs his phone. He's like, 1, 2, 3. And then he started the wave. So they were doing the wave for like 10 minutes. They kept on getting people to do the waves. It was fucking great. There's matches going on. It's like, he didn't give a shit. He just went and he started to do the wave. It was fucking hilarious. I mean, everybody was there. Eddie was there. Anderson Silva was there. Didn't even see him. Supposedly he was there. Like, he was sitting in the back.
What about, I'll go Hanach.
I didn't see Hanach. I saw him in Orlando, though.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Fuck, everybody. I mean, it's funny because I walked right past everybody, and I'm not a fanboy. Like, I'm never like that. Like, I would have loved to get a photo with some of these people, but that's not me. The only person I got a photo with is like Wagner, Cyborg, and JT. Anybody else, I didn't really give a shit, but like, they're my friends, so I wanted to sit there and get a photo with them. But Marcelo Garcia was there. Walk right past him.
I would take a picture with Marcelo.
I would, but I mean, like,
he would, like, honestly though, like, when it comes to taking pictures, like, I think it's dumb, except for people who, to me, are, like, I would not only take pictures with people who I consider legends.
Yeah.
And, like...
But I don't get anything out of
like,
that.
Like, the only person, like, I can tell you, within the last 10 years, the only person who I said I need to have a picture with was Boss Rutan.
Yeah, and I hung out with him the other day. Yeah, we didn't talk about that either, the karate combat stuff.
No.
Yeah, no, I hung out with him the other day. Wait till you see the videos and stuff that I have. I have, when we did karate combat, like, I went to do the weigh-ins, and I'm just hanging out, I'm filming, so I start filming, and I ask him, all right, boss, give me some crazy stories that nobody fucking knows yet, that you've never told anybody. And him and Kenny start giving me, like, stories that I was fucking dying laughing. So I'm gonna put those out pretty soon. So make sure you're following me on Instagram at Thunder Marketing, because I'm gonna put those videos out. But Boss is one of the coolest fucking people you'll ever meet. Hands down, one of the nicest guys. If you ask him, if you went up to him and say, "Hey, boss, serious question. Like, I'm working on something." Like, he could be in the middle, as long as you're not interrupting him while he's working. But if he's in the middle of a conversation, just bullshitting with someone, say, "Hey," and I've literally done this. Like, what'd your advice be if I was doing that? Bro, he will sit there and give you a little mini seminar right then and there. He'll do it. He'll stop. He's like, when the first time I met him was at the World Series of Fighting in Daytona, Stephanie, the Santana, like, she asked him to do a voicemail for her phone. He's like, sure. You know what? Let's just go outside. He took the time in the middle of watching the fights and having dinner to go outside, record a voicemail for her just so she could have it, and came back in. That's the kind of guy he is. Fucking nicest person in the world. And, like, it's hilarious because, like, I've talked to him and I've hung out with him so many times, and it's just one of those things that, like, that's the one, like, one of those few people that I'll get fanboyish about.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, don't be a fanboy, don't be a fanboy. And I still get a fucking fanboy just because he's a great fucking human being.
Yeah,
By the way, check out Karate Combat. Like, just go to the website because they're not on Fight Pass anymore. But it was a good fucking event. You would have dug it. I think next time I go, I'll bring you up there with me.
Yeah. If it's local, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. It's we're gonna do it up in Orlando again, I think.
Yeah, I'd love to go to that. Maybe we could do a podcast from it.
Yeah, for sure we
in
can.
the car.
Yeah, for sure. We can do it.
Yeah, there's a few people who I would kind of fanboy out. He's one of them. Probably Eddie.
Eddie would be fun.
I'd like to talk to Eddie.
I don't know how approachable he would really be. I feel like he would be a little bit more standoffish. Gio came up. That's the other thing. Like, when I was sitting next to the 10th Planet guys, like, Gio came up to start to talk to him. Super nice. Super. And I mean, I've met him before when we did Kasai in Orlando.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, the World Series of Jiu-Jitsu will
We should get Boogeyman. I should hit up Boogeyman. I think, I did talk to him about being on the podcast. You want to talk to Boogeyman?
I'll talk to everybody.
Yeah, let's get Boogeyman on the podcast. It'd be cool.
Talk about Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. Great movie. Who else would you fanboy?
Movie.
I know. Who knows? It was a good movie.
Breaking was pretty good.
It's a good cheesy movie.
Breaking 2 is no Beat Street.
You know, it's the first time I watched the Electric Boogaloo was on the tour bus with Rusted Root.
Oh, weird.
It was the weirdest thing. We were in Melbourne, and we were just hanging out that night, and I go into the bus, and the drummer and Corey and the guitar player Dirk were just sitting there. I'm like, the fuck are you guys watching? I was like, oh, Electric Boogaloo. I'm like, what? Sat there and watched the entire movie.
Breaking 2. You know what's funny is I've been watching Big Mouth on Netflix.
Never watched it.
It is the most hilarious
thing
thing
that cartoon,
ever.
Right?
Yeah, with Nick Kroll.
Fuck that guy. I won't watch anything. He's like, he annoys the shit out of me.
I'm telling you, it's him and John Mulaney. It is incredible. But they did the one dad's a stoner, and all he listens to is Rusted Root, and it's an incredible show.
Yeah,
incredible.
I watched like one
it's
episode.
Both
and I was
funny.
like,
It's both funny and like meaningful.
Did you watch Bill Burr? The Bill Burr F His Family?
No,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I heard that's good.
I think you would actually like relate to it a little bit.
You know what else is? I watched the entire season on Saturday.
What?
Paul Rudd has a new show called Living with Yourself.
I haven't heard it.
It is Again, I ended up watching 7 episodes Saturday night,
Really?
going to bed at like 1:30 in the morning because I couldn't stop. I'm like, how many more? I can't watch anymore. I only had one more episode to go. I've watched it Sunday. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Never even heard it. I don't watch that much TV anymore.
I don't watch
Netflix or
it
Hulu.
either. But like when I was gonna go out, but I didn't feel really good. I was
Yeah.
gonna go to Oktoberfest on Saturday.
Oh man, you missed out. It was pretty good this
But
year.
I wasn't feeling good, so I just turned on Netflix.
We went.
You went the week
first
before.
weekend. Yeah. I didn't think you. I thought you already had plans, so I didn't bother inviting you. It was like, you know what sucks is they, as crowded as it gets, like it feels like it's only got a couple of years left before they just say fuck it, we're not gonna do it anymore. It really
Why?
feels like it. I don't know. It just feels like they don't care. Like they don't really care. They don't put in the effort.
They do care because that's what
That's
gets
their
them-
moneymaker.
That's their moneymaker.
No, I know for a fact that they make their entire money for the year for
Yeah.
that.
Ooh, by the way, speaking of which, I got back my Ancestry.com.
I thought you said Ancestry. Like
No,
what?
no.
Man, I didn't realize I drank so many of these. Sorry. If I keep burping on the mic, I apologize. It's just I'm super thirsty. I just finished training. We started doing Nogi's Tuesday and Thursday. By the way, I'm a total Nogi white belt.
Well, by the way, I am so white, it's not even funny.
Caucasian-y.
So here's my
Now,
breakdown.
let me read this. All right, so Shawn is 33% England, Wales, and Northwest European, which is like pretty much anybody that's Caucasian. 27% Germanic Europe, which is basically the same thing. 14% Italian. 12% Ireland and Scotland. 9% France. You definitely got a little French in you. 3% Swedish. 2% Norway. See other regions tested.
That's just a picture.
Let me look at the... Oh, it's just a picture?
Yeah.
Open it up. I want to read it.
It doesn't say anything.
Oh.
But what's
So do you
funny
feel
is,
like you got anything out of that?
here's the map.
Right?
So like some people's maps are like big, like Erica.
Right.
She's got her came back. She's got stuff from Northern Africa.
No,
Like
it makes sense.
So she's got like some, but me, I'm like my entire family tree
Yeah, it's all up
is
there.
all like within a 2,000-mile radius.
No, it makes sense.
And it like there's even some in Iceland too. So it's like, I was super surprised at how much English I had in me.
Why?
Because I didn't that was the only person I knew that had English in them was my grandfather.
Yeah, but you got to look at it makes sense not just because of your build, but because of just the way that the
Well, no,
migration was.
Well, I'm basically the Aryan ideal.
Yeah.
It's like you got to be kidding me. Like there's no like.
No, if you're blonde,
flavor.
if you have blonde hair, that's where you're from.
Yeah, there's no like ethnic flavor. Like even the Italian, I'm sure is like Roman Italian, not even like.
Well, even then, like that's the Moors. Like so, it's
Well, the Moors didn't get there until,
right. It just splits up. So like when you get into Italian, that's like where you draw the line. I'm surprised. Well, that makes sense. Like you don't have any like Spaniard in you either. I think mine. I've never done it. Was it like $100?
It was. I don't know. I got it for Christmas a couple years ago.
So like I think mine would probably have a lot of like Spanish, Italian, and like just mostly like Central European like that. Like maybe a little bit like Northern African and below the belt, but other than that,
It was interesting though. Like it's just what
but didn't they say like didn't they prove that thing is bullshit?
what
Yeah, Ancestry.com.
I don't know.
Pretty sure.
No, I mean it's
Like the
DNA
99 and was it 99 and me or whatever it is? Like they pretty much said that that's bullshit. Aren't you paranoid that they take your stuff and now you're on the data bank?
What are they gonna do?
Now you're on the data bank.
So what?
They know.
If anybody wants anything of you, they can just go on the internet and figure it out. It's like, what else you gonna make a clone of me? Awesome. There'll be another awesome person out there.
With all the deficiencies.
Well, and what's funny is that Paul Rudd show is about a clone.
Really?
And what they do is they scrub the DNA and they only make it puts the best parts in the clone.
Why would you want to do that? Then you literally made someone that's better than you.
That's not what they. It's not what they. You don't know that they're making a clone.
Oh, I gotcha.
It's a really good show. Like
I'll check out an episode or two.
I highly recommend watching it.
I'm just waiting for the new episodes of Rick and Morty. I still got to catch up on new episodes of South Park, but I'm just waiting for the new episodes of Rick and Morty.
I don't watch any of that because I only have Netflix and.
You don't have Hulu? No. It's called Bootleg, son.
But I am going to get Disney Plus.
Oh, I'm so getting that
because all that Star Wars, like
everything that you and I watch, is on there.
Well, and what's funny is I've been really getting into the Star Wars
lore
because of the comic books. The comic books that Marvel's been putting out have been incredible. The ones they did on Vader, they got like all these comic books are just.
I like the Dark Horse comic stuff.
Yeah,
like Shadows of the Empire.
These are actually better. I'm telling you.
You know, Mark Hamill started up his own comic book company.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, he has his own comic book store in New York, and then I'm pretty sure he started his own comic book company. So he's all about that stuff, man. He knows where the money was at. That's why he's doing fine. Told you I've been doing the photo shoots for Tatami.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Finally got those done. So I had Gilbert shoot. Oh, and I had to do Polaris. I filmed for Polaris the other day too. The next Polaris card, Polaris 12. I did Gilbert's photo shoot not this past weekend, the weekend before. 7 hours straight of shooting.
Why so much?
We had so much stuff to shoot, man. I came out with so many photos.
Did they pay him to do that? Or they just...
That's not my business. They pay me to take photos, but what they pay him or whatever is not my business. I never asked that. That's not for me to know.
Well, I'm just wondering. I mean, obviously, it must... To 7 hours of your day.
I mean, it depends. Like, I can tell you from experience of working with athletes in general, depending on the sponsorship that you have, dictates on what happens in that situation. Like, I know some athletes don't get paid as much as others, but they work out a deal where, let's say, for example, you sponsor me, right? You have a gi company. You sponsor me, and I say, hey, instead of paying me X amount, pay me a little less, but give me the gis and everything super cheap, and then I can sell those in my academy or sell them whatever, and I can make my money that way. And you end up, if you're smart, you can make up a lot more money that way. Because, for example, if let's say you were only gonna pay me $500 a month, right? I'm like, okay, how about you only pay me like $200 a month, but you give me all these gis super cheap, like let's say $20, $40 each, and then I go flip them. I'm selling a gi $100, $120 a pop to my students or whatever. Man, I'm banking 5 G's a month, easy.
No way.
Easy, oh for sure.
No way.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to sell that many gis.
Yeah, Shawn.
No, you aren't.
Don't look at it in just like in the school, because I can put them online.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not just talking about like, so it depends on what you're doing.
Because you were saying students, I was like...
No. Well, you're going to sell yours to the students anyway, like for that entry one or whatever. But we've flipped gis online before. I've flipped them. I still flip a couple of my shoulder roll gis here and there. Like, so it's lucrative if you do it right, if you do it smart. But no, it's 7 hours straight, man. And we got actually some really dope fucking photos. So if you go and follow Gilbert, or you see my stuff online on Instagram, you'll see a lot of cool ones. And then we did Herbert and Erwin actually helped me out on this one. Herbert came out and we did it over here at Combat Club Sunday night. 2 hours, like it knocked out some stuff really quick because he only had to do a couple. But man, fucking, I've been going nonstop. I've been burning the candle on both ends the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking. And then I filmed Polaris at AJ Souza's on Friday night.
Who's competing there?
Gilbert's competing. So like I just hung out. I basically hung out with Gilbert all last week. If I wasn't working, I was working with Gilbert. But it was cool, man. I saw a couple of people I haven't seen in a while. I saw Ari. Jose and everybody else. They got some
I ran
savages in
into
there.
Ari a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he was telling me that you guys ended up talking for like 2 hours.
2 hours hanging out at Bagels with.
Yeah, it's funny, but no, man. That's the one thing that people don't realize when it comes to sponsorships. Depending on the level of the sponsorships you have to put in work. You can't just sit there and say, "Oh, give me free stuff." You have to put in work. And listen, Gilbert and I fucking crushed it that day. And it was raining. It was pouring. It was that day where it was just pouring nonstop. We were both just sweating our asses off, and he was modeling sweaters and sweatpants. So he was dying, and it was all fresh new stuff. So all the felt and stuff was sticking onto him.
Yeah,
man. So if you want to learn how to be a professional, man, just pay attention to what Gilbert does, because
Gilbert's everywhere. He doesn't just rest on the UFC laurels.
Yeah,
he's doing everything.
He hit number 15. And now he actually flew to Singapore Monday to corner MJ at the UFC Singapore card. Comes back. He's going to go to New York to corner Vicente. So I'm going to run into him in New York next weekend. I'll be up in New York, by the way, so my New York people, holler at your boy.
Who's MJ fighting?
I don't remember. Look it up.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll do the podcast next. Yeah, whatever. Actually, no, I would have to call this one.
I hit the wall.
Yeah. No, man, I've been running nonstop since 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, I've been waking up at 5, going to the gym or going swimming, and then going to work. And then going to work and teaching, and then
it's tough being an adult, huh?
Sucks.
I wouldn't know about that. Man, you really are hitting the wall.
Yeah, like my eye, like I can't see.
You gave me the look like someone that just took a bunch of LSD. You're like,
no,
eyes are popping.
I'm just like everything's got halos around it, you know.
Oh man, toughen up, Buttercup. Let's go.
I'm trying.
All right, well, we'll call it a quit then, because otherwise I could go talking about those photo shoots for a while. Listen, thank you again, everybody, for supporting the podcast. Appreciate it. I want to just say appreciate to everybody that listens to the podcast while you're working on your side hustle, or when you're doing your hobbies and stuff. It actually means a lot to us that you let us in your ear holes when you're doing that.
Let us in your ear hole.
Yeah. Shout out to our sponsors. This podcast is sponsored by Choke Aloha, Giraffe Choke, Jiu-Jitsu Soap Co. And don't forget to check out DiamondMMA.com. Get yourself a cup. Protect these nuts. And
protect these nuts.
All of them. Remind me, I gotta find that video I was telling you about the cup that shattered for the cricket player.
Yeah.
It's a fucking hilarious story. All right. You got anything else for the people?
Got nothing.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Peace.
You kidding me, Bob?
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff.
Get stealing, woo, wheeling, dealing, limousine right, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time